everyone, I'm 𝐂𝐸�0 from 𝐂𝐸�0 Designs, and I'm so excited to be here at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo virtual show. Today I'm going to do a demo for you, and I'm going to show you the brand new and improved Wreath Builder templates, and I'm also going to show you how you can do a spray card using a regular A2 size panel. These are the new and improved Wreath Builder templates, and they come in a 3 3/4 size and a 4-inch size. Now the difference between these and our old Wreath Builder templates are these magical stars that are in the center. And these stars have grid lines all over them that allow you to create wreaths and know exactly where you're going to place something before you stamp it. It also gives you an opportunity to check out the design before you actually make the commitment to add it to your card. For those of you who haven't seen the Wreath Builder templates in action, I'm going to give you a quick demo on that. So I like to use my MISTI stamping tool. You can use any stamping platform that you have. And I like to put a little tape underneath the mat to make sure that the mat doesn't move, because that can create problems for you even if you're using the template as your guide. Now, once that mat is secure and in place, I'm going to place the Wreath Builder template into the top corner of my MISTI stamping tool. And I'm going to use a little bit, I'm going to use some washi tape for this, but you can use purple tape or any kind of tape that you have to hold down your template. So once I have it in place, I'm going to just tape it down onto this mat. This way it won't shift around. Then, as you can see, the star fits right inside, and that's going to help us guide some of the stamps that we want to use. It's going to serve as a guide for us. So there's a raised side and a flat side. You can see the guide on either side, so it just depends on which one you like. They both fit perfectly. Now I'm going to start this with a plain square piece of white cardstock, and this measures 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches, the same way that the template is set up. And I'm going to place this in the square orientation. This is called the diamond orientation, and we would never want to start a wreath with this orientation because sometimes the images can go outside of the cardstock then. So I'm going to place that piece of cardstock into my Wreath Builder template, and I'm going to put the magnet down for a second. Now I wanted to show you some of the different Wreath Builder stamp sets that you can get that coordinate with this system. This is the original Wreath Builder stamp set. It's a great all-purpose Wreath Builder set. It's got different kinds of greetings for all occasion cards, including birthday, lots of friendship cards, cards of encouragement, and then it's got different rings to do your centerpieces of your wreaths, and then all kinds of bits and pieces of florals and leaves. So this is a really great one to start with if you've never done wreath building before. Now we also expanded on that with the Autumn Wreath Builder, and this one has lots of autumn greetings and of course some Thanksgiving greetings and lots of autumn foliage, including some leaves and different types of bits and pieces that work great for autumn wreath building. And then finally there is our Christmas Wreath Builder. This is the Holiday Wreath Builder. This one has different centers that you can put in your cards for different holidays, including Christmas, Hanukkah, and then, of course, just winter wishes if you want to make winter wreaths using the snowflakes and the different holiday flora. Now, all of the rings are interchangeable, so if this ring works with this greeting, it's also going to work with a greeting in the Autumn Wreath Builder and the original Wreath Builder. We also have something called the Mandala Maker, and if you visit our website at 𝐒𝐸�0designs.com, you can see the Mandala Maker, and that makes some really cool graphic designs if you're trying to do something other than just a floral wreath. Okay, so now I have my piece of cardstock in the center here, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay this star on top, and then I'm just going to put my magnet down just to hold it all in place. Now my Autumn Wreath Builder is pretty well loved. You can see it's kind of stained from all the stamps that I've used, but that's okay. Stained stamp is a loved stamp. So I'm going to see where I would want to place my design. And I can judge because there is a ring going around, and as long as I don't go outside one of these rings, I'm not going to go outside the cardstock. And it's a little bit hard to see here, but you can see them when I do that, the reflection of the light. It's easy to see in person. So you want to make sure that you place your stamp face side down anywhere you want on this circle. So if you want to line it up with one of the lines, you can do that. And then you can move it close to the edge as long as it's not going outside that last circle. And then you're going to pick it up with the door of the MISTI. Now, I'm going to go around and just make a quick wreath showing you how to do this. So I'm going to use some fresh asparagus ink. This is one of the 𝐂𝐻𝐿 Designs ink cubes. And these ink cubes are really great to use because it makes it very easy for you to ink up these smaller images. So you can see I've got an impression there, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my cardstock to the next position in the wreath builder, which is the diamond orientation. And I'm going to stamp that again. And I'm going to turn that again. And you can see what's happening here is I am creating a perfectly spaced circle of images that will turn into a wreath. And I can fill these in with all the different bits and pieces to create a beautiful design. So I'm just going to do this to show you a quick circle wreath that you can use for a square card. And then I'm going to show you how to add your second image using the new star piece. Now, for those of you that already have the Wreath Builder templates, some of you have asked if we sell the star by itself. We don't sell the star by itself because it wouldn't be any cheaper for us to have it manufactured by itself, because in order to cut out the star, what's left behind is this piece. So we figured, why charge for the whole thing and only give you the star? So we give you the extra 2 templates along with it. And of course, if you already have it, this is a great way to invite a friend over and do some wreath building with them so that you both can have templates in your wreath builder. You can share the star. Okay, so I'm going to, you can see how cool that is. That's just a pretty wreath. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a flower on this wreath. Now, to test it, I want to make sure that it's going to look good where I put it. So, and this might be a little obvious on a simple wreath like this, but when you start adding more and more images, you want to make sure that they're going to look good. So I'm going to place this right here in between these 2 sprigs, and I'm going to pick that up. Then I'm just going to reposition everything to make sure it's where I want it. And I'm going to test it first. So the benefit of having this star template is you can stamp something first to make sure that you really like the way it looks. So I am going to use a bright pink ink. This is the Passionate Pink. And I'm going to stamp it right onto my template. Now I can see on the template that that's spaced nicely. It looks good. It's a color that I want to use. So now I can take this off and I can clean it with my tidy towel. And when you're all done, you can just take a little brush, maybe an old toothbrush, and a little soap and water, and you can scrub out any ink that gets into the grid lines. So I know that that's going to look good now, so I'm going to add that one all around the perimeter of my wreath. So wreath building is a great way to get your mojo started. It's also a great thing to do if, my magnet got in the way there, it's a great thing to do if you don't know what to make. Because wreath building, the whole design of the card is built into the template. It's built into the design. You don't have to do too much more other than create your beautiful wreath, and then you can put it onto a card base and it's ready to go. Sometimes I just make lots of wreaths and I just leave them in my drawer, and then when I need a quick card, let's say I need a wedding card or I need a sympathy card, I can find an appropriate wreath, add a greeting, and it's ready to go. So this is a really nice way to experiment with different designs, play with different color combinations, and build some beautiful wreaths in the process. Some of the Wreath Builder bits and pieces have open spaces where you can add some coloring, and other ones are just solid so that you can quickly stamp in color. I like both kinds, and I like to mix and match them in my same card. Okay, so you can see now I have a great little wreath ready to go. I could add a circle design over that, a small circle with a small greeting, whatever I want to do, and that would be a completed wreath card. Let me show you a couple holiday cards I made. Here's one that I made using our holiday wreath builder set. Just a quick wreath with a center greeting. It's ready to go. And here's one where I added a die cut circle piece on the outside, and I popped it up with a little foam tape, and that just gave it a little bit more dimension. So simple and easy cards to make with the Wreath Builder. Now I want to show you a spray, because a lot of people say, well, I love the square cards, but I don't really send a lot of square cards. I would rather put it onto a regular A2 size card base. And this is an A2 size card base. So this is what a lot of people like to do. Sometimes they open this way, sometimes they open book style, but this is the size I'm talking about, the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. So what I've done here is I've cut a piece of white cardstock that is 3 3/4 inches across by 5 inches long. And this is going to be nice to sit in the center of my A2 card. But it matches the opening of the Wreath Builder. So in order to do a spray, you're going to do something a little bit different. So you're going to pop this into the Wreath Builder template, and it's going to hang out at the bottom, and that is just fine. Then what I want to do is I want to find the center. And you don't even have to have this piece of cardstock. You can just put the star in to figure out the center of your card. And I'm going to use a tall stamp. This is almost like a wheat sprig. And I'm going to use this line here. Let's make sure you can see the line. This line as my guide so I can find the center. And that's where I want to add that. So now that that's on there, and that'll stick to that, I can lay this on top and make sure that that is going to look good and be where I want it. And that really looks like exactly where I want it to be. So I'm going to pick that up with the door of the Misty, and then I'm going to remove my star, and then I'm going to start to build this spray. So for my spray, I'm going to start with a light color. This is a craft. This is craft ink, 𝐒𝐿 Designs Craft. I want this to be a very autumny card with lots of warm tones. So I'm going to stamp that first. Then I'm going to turn it to the next position in the Wreath Builder. Even though it hangs outside, that is totally fine. I'm going to stamp it again. And then I'm going to go back to my center spot, and I'm going to turn it the other way, and I'm going to stamp it again. All right. Now once I have that done, I'm going to flip it upside down, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So this is allowing me to create a quick and easy spray look. And a spray is where the bits and pieces of your wreath are kind of shooting out from something. They're not kind of going around heel to toe, or head to toe rather, head to toe around the wreath, but they're all shooting out in different directions. It's a much more whimsical look, and I really, really like this kind of Wreath Builder card for the fall. All right, so now I'm going to add my second design. So I'm going back into my square orientation with the top 2 pieces in the top and the rest hanging off. So now I'm going to use, let's see, I think I can use this image here. No, I think I want to use something a little bit different. Let's use this one. So this image, I'm going to just put right in between. And if you want to try it first, you can put it onto your star and stamp it first to make sure it's where you want it. Now I've made this kind of card so many times that I already know it's where I want it. Now I'm going to use some fresh asparagus because I want to add a little bit of green into my autumn wreath. And then I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to the center and I'm going to stamp it 2 more times. I turned it to the right this time. And I'm going to turn it to the right 1 more time. So there's the top of the spray. Now I'm going to do the other side. Now that that's all done, I'm going to add a flower image with a nice autumn color. So let's get that in there. And for this one, I'm going to use some of our faded brick ink. So now you can see I have a beautiful spray ready to go and to be mounted onto my card base. Now it's time to decorate the center and to create a greeting. So I've stamped my greeting with some black onyx ink onto one of the 𝐒𝐿𝐵 double stitched circles. And then using our dot runner adhesive, I'm going to adhere it to one of the 𝐒𝐿𝐵 single stitched circles that I cut out in black. The single stitched ones are 1/8 of an inch bigger, so it gives you that cute little shadow layer. Now it's time to create a border for the center of the card. So I have a piece of cardstock here, and I'm going to use our brand new Harvest Flourish stencil. This stencil is part of our newest kit that's available over at 𝐒𝐿𝐵, and it's a really pretty stencil for this season. So I'm going to tape it onto the back of the stencil with a little bit of washi tape. And then I'm going to use some of the 𝐒𝐿𝐵 craft ink and a blending brush, and I'm going to just grab a little bit of that color on the brush, and I'm going to just blend that over the stencil. This is such a pretty design. I just love how autumny it feels. And this is going to be a beautiful centerpiece going across the center of my spray. Okay, so I'll take that off. You can see how pretty that looks. And then I'm going to remove that washi tape, and I'm going to adhere this. My washi tape's a little sticky. I'm going to adhere this onto a black strip that I cut the same length, but it's just a little bit fatter by 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to adhere these 2 pieces together. So sometimes I have to pick it up to do that. Now once that's done, that's going to fit perfectly over the center of my spray. But before I do that, I want to adhere this piece onto a piece of black onyx cardstock. And this is cut 1/8 of an inch bigger to give me that nice little shadow edge. Then this piece is going to go right across the top to hide all my raw edges. I just want to kind of line it up so it looks like it's in the center. And then it's time to adhere this card onto a card base. So now I'm adhering the card panel onto the card base. And then I've added a few little foam squares to the back of my greeting panel. And that is going to go right into the center. So that is a really fun way to make a little spray card. And I used craft cardstock to give it that warm autumn feel. So here's a couple of the other cards that I showed you in today's presentation. And I hope that you enjoyed seeing these cards, seeing this card and this one come to life. If you're interested in our Wreath Builder templates, our Mega Wreath Builder templates perfect for home decor, or our Mini Wreath Builder template that's perfect for tags and gift card holders, visit us at 𝐒𝐿𝐴designs.com, click on the Shop tab, and then click on the Wreath Builder category. You'll find all of the templates and all of the stamp sets that coordinate with this fabulous system. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.